Welcome back. This is Pastor Terre from Faith Mountain Full Gospel Church in West Terre, Haute, Indiana. We're going to continue our lessons. We're on chapter 46 in the book of Genesis. I hope you're getting a lot from this. I have enjoyed it. It's taken a long time, but it's amazing what we can learn from all the stuff going on when we see these things, and we can grow from it. And that's the great point about the Word. The more we know of it, the more we grow towards the Lord. Let's go to the Lord in prayer as we begin. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to study your Word, Lord. Open up our hearts that we might receive your Word, that it might become engrafted inside of us, that we might draw closer to you because of it. We thank you in Jesus' precious name. Amen. We are ready for chapter 46. I'm going to try to do 2 chapters each time to kind of get through this because there's 50 chapters. So we'll get through 46, 47, and then it depends on how it goes. There will be at least 2 or 3 more then after this, just so we can finish up Genesis. So, like I said, I hope you enjoy this. All right, chapter 46. This is about God's assurance. Israel took his journey with all the land. He came to Beersheba and offered sacrifices unto the God of his father Isaac. And God spoke unto Israel in the visions of the night and said, Jacob, Jacob. I found that strange because he had changed his name to Israel, yet he calls him by his original name, Jacob, here. And he said, here am I. So you don't know where they're at in this process of Jacob actually truly becoming the father of all the nations. But he is working on it here. So God's trying to tell him and remind him of the things of his past as well, too. And he said, I am God, the God of thy father. Fear not to go down into Egypt, for I will there make of thee a great nation. Remember, there wasn't that many of them yet. And I will go down with thee into Egypt. I will surely bring thee up again, and Joseph shall put his hand upon thine eyes, which means he will close his eyes when he dies. So, again, prophecy is being spoken out here of what will take place. So as we read through this, you can see, does Joseph do that? Does Joseph close his eyes? Is he there when his father dies? And Jacob rose up from Beersheba, and the sons of Israel carried Jacob their father, and their little ones, and their wives, and the wagons which Pharaoh had sent to carry them. And he took their cattle and their goods which they had gotten in the land of Canaan, and came into Egypt, Jacob and all his seed with him, his sons and his sons' sons with him, his daughters and his sons' daughters, and all his seed brought he with him into Egypt. And these are the names of the children of Israel which came into Egypt, Jacob and his sons, Reuben, firstborn, Jacob's firstborn, and the sons of Reuben, Hanok, Palu, Hezron, Carmi, and the sons of Simeon, Jemuel, Jamin, Ohad, Jacob, Zoar, Shul, the son of Canaanite woman, and the sons of Levi, Gershon, Kohath, and Merah, the sons of Judah, and Onan, and Shelah, and Perez, and Zara. But and Onan died in the land of Canaan, and the sons of Perez were Hezron, Hamul, and the sons of Ishkar, Tola, Puvah, Job, and Shimron, the sons of Zebulun, Sered, Elton, Jahiel. These be the sons of Leah, which she bore unto Jacob in Padoram, with his daughter Dinah. All the souls of his sons and his daughters were 33. So you're going to get a list here of people, and you're going to get some numbers that show you how little actually there was of the nation of Israel. So I've got this screen here so you can see it, and it has the explanation of what their names mean. So, for example, Reuben, see his son, Simeon, Hur, and you can go back to this. You can look at those names and find out a little bit more about them by what does their names mean. And the sons of Gad, Ziphon, Haggai, Shuna, Esbon, Era, and Alba, and Arel. And the sons of Asher, Jimnah, Ishu, and Izu, Bara, and Serah, their sisters. And the sons of Berah, Hebron, and Machi. These are the sons of Zilpah, which Laban gave to Leah his daughter. And these she bore unto Jacob, even 16 souls. The sons of Rachel, Jacob's wife, Joseph and Benjamin. And there you see them. That's the only two that Rachel had, Joseph and Benjamin. And then Joseph in the land of Egypt were born Manasseh and Ephraim, which Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On, bore unto him. And the sons of Benjamin were Bela, Becher, Ashbel, Gera, Naam, Elah, and Rosh, Upan, Hoppin, and Ad. What names? Ain't that something? These are the sons of Rachel, which were born to Jacob. All the souls were 14. And sons of Dan, Hushin. The sons of Naphtali, Jaziel, Gunal, Lajer, and Shemiel. These are the sons of Bilhah, which Laban gave unto Rachel his daughter, and she bore these unto Jacob. All these were 7. All the souls that came with Jacob into Egypt came out of his loins, besides Jacob's sons' wives. All the souls were 66. And the sons of Joseph were born him in Egypt were 2 souls. So all the house of Jacob, which came into Egypt, were 70. That's not very many people to become a nation of millions and millions. And he sent Judah before him unto Joseph to direct his face into Goshen. And they came into the land of Goshen. And Joseph made ready his chariot and went up to meet Israel his father to Goshen, and presented himself unto him. And he fell on his neck and wept on him on his neck a good while. Well, you could imagine he's been gone all this time. He didn't know what had happened. He just had been sold into slavery, and now he prospered because of what the Lord was doing in his life. And I'm sure he missed his father. Like most boys, no matter what their age is, they need their father. And Israel said to Joseph, Now let me die, since I have seen thy face, because thou art yet alive. I mean, that would have touched him to the core of his being, because here's his first and then his second Benjamin's second most precious sons, because they're his children of old age and of his love of his life. And that's what made him so special. And Joseph sent his brother into his father's house. I will go up and show Pharaoh, and say unto him, My brothers and my father's house, which were in the land of Canaan, are come unto me. And the men are shepherds, for their trade has been feed cattle, and they brought their flocks and their herds, and all they have. And it shall come to pass, when Pharaoh shall call you, you shall say, What is your occupation? That ye shall say, Thy servant's trade has been both cattle from our youth even unto now, both we and our fathers, that we may dwell in the land of Goshen. For every shepherd is an abomination unto the Egyptians. Now he's forewarning them what to say. It tells you their hearts have not completely turned yet. They still have hardened hearts towards things, and they still don't get all of this. But they will. It's just going to take more time. But here he warns them. Then we go into the chapter 47. Then Joseph came and told Pharaoh and said, My father and my brother and their flocks and their herds and all that they have are come out of the land of Canaan. Behold, they're in the land of Goshen. And he took some of his brethren, even 5 men, and presented them unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said to his brethren, What is your occupation? They said to Pharaoh, Thy servants are shepherds, both we and also our father. Wait a minute. What did Joseph tell them not to say? They still don't get it. But that's the way it is. If someone has a hard heart, you need to pray that God would soften their hearts up to receive the truth. Because these boys here show us that even though they do care somewhat, and now they know who Joseph is, and they see that Joseph is going to take care of them, they still don't get it all. And they're still struggling with these things, but most people do. And they said moreover unto Pharaoh, For to sojourn in the land are we come, for thy servants have no pasture for their flocks, for the famine is sore in the land of Canaan now. Therefore we pray thee, let thy servants dwell in the land of Goshen. And Pharaoh spoke unto Joseph, saying, Thy father and thy brethren are come unto thee. And the land of Egypt is before thee, and the best of thy land make thy father and brothers to dwell. In the land of Goshen let them dwell, and if thou knowest any man of activity among them, then make them rulers over my cattle. And Joseph brought in Jacob his father, and set him before Pharaoh. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh. I found that incredible. But God was trying to bless Pharaoh so that he would continue to bless the nation of Israel as it's becoming a nation. Because remember, he knew the prophecy that had been spoken that they would be in bondage in the nation of Egypt. So he's thinking, wait a minute, really, we probably shouldn't go here. But so he blesses Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto Jacob, How old are thou? And Jacob said to Pharaoh, The days of the years of my pilgrimage are 130 years old. 130 years old, folks. Man, that's, yeah. Few and evil have the days of the years of my life been, and have not attained into the days of the years of the life of my fathers in the days of their pilgrimage. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh and went out from before him. So here Jacob is blessing him and saying good things to him, because again, he knew the prophecies that had been spoken that all the ancestors would go to Egypt and they would become slaves in Egypt and be bound there for 400 years. So Joseph placed his father and his brother and gave them possession in the land of Egypt, in the best of the land, in the land of Ramses. And here we go. This is why I think it's Ramses, or one of the Ramses, let's put it that way. That was the one that came up afterwards, and he's the one that enslaved the nation of Israel, as Pharaoh had commanded. And Joseph nourished his father and his brothers and all his father's household with bread according to their families. And there was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very sore, so that the land of Egypt and all the land of Canaan fainted by reason of the famine. And Joseph gathered all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the corn which they bought, and Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. This man is reaping in the cash like it's unreal, right? And when money failed in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Joseph and said, Give us bread, for we should die in thy presence, for our money faileth. Well, yeah, Joseph had set that up. And Joseph said, Give your cattle, and I will give you your cattle if money fail. And they brought their cattle unto Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for horses, for their flocks, and for the cattle of the herds, for the asses. And he fed them with bread for all their cattle for that year. When that year was ended, they came up unto the second year and said to him, We will not hide it from my lord, how that our money is spent. My lord also has our herds of cattle. That is not aught left in the sight of my lord, but our bodies and our lands. Wherefore shall we die before thine eyes, both we and our land? Buy us and our land for bread, and we and our land will be servants unto Pharaoh, and give us seed that we may live and not die, that the land be not desolate. Boy, here's some desperate people, but remember, Egypt is a land of pagan gods, so they're not worshiping Jehovah. They're not worshiping him. They're worshiping false idols. And that's why all this is coming. Yet God protects his own people. That's what's so incredible out of all this. And Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh, for the Egyptians sold every man his field, because the famine prevailed over them. So the land became Pharaoh's. You wonder how they built all the pyramids? Hey, everybody became a slave to Pharaoh. That's how they did this stuff. Plus, they put all the nation of Israel in bondage. That's why and how they built all these fabulous pyramids and things that they're digging up all over the place. And as for the people, he removed them to cities from one end of the borders of Egypt, even to the other end thereof. Only the land of the priest bought he not, for the priests had a portion assigned them of Pharaoh, and did eat their portion from Pharaoh gave them. Wherefore they sold not their land. Then Joseph said unto the people, Behold, I bought you this day and your land for Pharaoh. Lo, here is seed for you, and shall sow the land, and it shall come to pass in the increase that you shall give the fifth part unto Pharaoh, and 4 parts shall be your own, for seed of the field, and for your food, and for them of your household, and for food for your little ones. Now, I highlighted this because what did the Lord say? He said, you need to set apart a tenth. Pharaoh wants 20. God only wants 10%. And he wants you to sow out of not just your need, and if you can't pay your bills, right? It's what he's given you and prospered you. And people look at this differently, and there is nothing in the New Testament basically that tells you must give a tenth. It says to store up what God is telling you to give. Well, where do you get that reference from then? You get that back from the Old Testament, which tells you to give a tenth. So God's much better to us than Pharaoh would be as well too, right? That's what's so incredible. And they said, Thou hast saved our lives. Let us find grace in the sight of the Lord, and we will be Pharaoh's servants. And Joseph made it a law over the land of Egypt this day, that Pharaoh should have the fifth part, except the land of the priests only, which became not Pharaoh's. I'm sure that's not going on today now, though, because they don't have Pharaohs anymore. But you look at that and you wonder, I wonder what their tax rates are, right? Well, in this country, it's about 33% is what we pay in through all our taxes that we pay. And Pharaoh wanted 20, but God only wants 10 now. What seems fair about all that? And Israel dwelt in the land of Egypt in the country of Goshen, and they had possessions therein, and grew and multiplied exceedingly. And Jacob lived in the land of Egypt 17 years, so the whole age of Jacob was 147 years. And the time drew nigh that Israel must die, and he called his sons and said to them, If now I found grace in thy sight, put, I pray thee, thy hand under my thigh, and deal kindly and truly with me. Bury me not, I pray thee, in Egypt, but I will lie with my fathers, and thou shalt carry me out of Egypt, and bury me in their burying place. And he said, I will do as thou hast said. And he said, Swear unto me. And he swore unto him. And Israel bowed himself upon the bed's head. All right, so here's the end of this chapter, but it's setting up for Israel to die and go on. And here he's making Joseph put his hand underneath his thigh. That's considered the seat or the seed of power from a person. And that's why when you make a promise that way, you're never supposed to break that promise, right? So you can kind of see where this is going and stuff, and then we'll come back again in chapter 48 next, and we'll get some of the blessings and all the things that Israel says, and then what Joseph says, and there's a whole lot of things that come out of the next few chapters. So there's only a couple more to go, and we'll get those in our next lesson. Hope to see you next time. If you don't have a church, we'd love to have you come fellowship with us. We're at 447 North Thorpe Place in West Terre, Haute, Indiana. And we're just north of the West Vigo High School. You can come in. You'll know it. It's an old red brick building. It's beautiful. And we try to keep it maintained because it is a historic building. And we'd love to have you come fellowship with us. We're not a huge congregation, but we've got room for you. And you are more than welcome to come and worship with us 10 o'clock every Sunday morning. Hope to see you there.